Okay, so today we're in for a bit of a treat. We've got Amy Fox with us. Now, Amy's been around the track for a while. You've been competing. You've done a lot of things in your career. Now, I know that for a lot of people out there, they want to know, what makes you want to go from one division to another division, and how does that even start to happen? Because it's something that I know a lot of people out there are considering which division they should do, what shape they should be, how they should actually approach, even choosing a division. I know you've been competing for a while, and competing is something that is personal to everyone. I know that, but I wanted to hear from you personally about, why, I guess, first thing was why you chose to compete in one division, and now you're changing your focus slightly to compete in a different division. What was like the driving force behind that?
Well, when I actually first started competing, or first wanted to compete, I'd always look at the figure girls.
Yeah.
So they were more muscular than your normal fitness model, and I really loved that look.
Yeah.
So I always thought I wanted to do the figure category. And then as I started progressing as a figure competitor, my shape and my structure was a little bit different to the girls that were winning the Olympia, like the Erin Stearns. Long-limbed, mine are short, so it was a different look. So this is how this figure division kind of then morphed into the physique category. And I went into the physique category initially kicking and screaming, not wanting to do it, digging my heels in, because I didn't want to get more muscly. And that's the way I kind of saw it. But at the time it was explained to me that it was just more suited to my body type.
Your shape, yeah.
Yeah, and it made sense.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to fight the fact that I don't have long limbs like Erin Stern, well, why not do a category like physique that actually is suitable for my body type and do it with ease rather than trying to fight what you've been, given at birth kind of thing. It just makes sense. And I mean, I use the kind of analogy for my girls that I'm prepping as well. Like anyone can look like a Victoria's Secret model if they've got, the height for it, and if someone like the structure for it, they can do it easily. If I want to look like a Victoria's Secret model, I don't eat for 7 days, and it comes at a cost, and the cost is your health overall.
Yeah.
So I think for me, if you're trying to think about which division you're going to do something that comes naturally to you first, where you're not stressing your body out by doing hours of cardio, you're not trying to cut calories, and the girls that are trying to put on muscle, on the same token, you're not having to eat 1 billion calories just to hold on to the muscle. So do something that is relatively easy. I mean, it's always challenging.
Of course.
Competing always hard, but do something that is relatively easy, that makes you live a happy life and not just go insane because you're trying to watch what you're eating just for the sake of getting up on stage. And the beauty of that is there's so many different categories now for the girls to choose from. I feel sorry for the guys because they've only got really two, but the girls have all these different ones that they can kind of slot into. And for me, the challenge with the switch now is my body, because of the arthritis, I've got an arthritic shoulder, I'm really struggling to train at the intensity that I would feel would best display my body on stage.
In that category.
To bring the muscularity, the hardness, the condition, all of those things. So I want a new challenge now that's not stressing out my body and my health.
Yeah.
And that for me is either figure or bikini. And I've mentioned to you before that bikini might be the way to go, only because of the arthritis sort of affecting my symmetry. And when you look at the figure girls on stage, the symmetry is like the go-to, thing. So
the first standard
exactly. So you looked upon for your balance and your symmetry. So the first pose they do is that front pose. You can't hide any imbalances there, and my issue is, or my biggest fear is, getting up on stage without that balance. And the beauty of the bikini division is that you can stand a little bit off centre and hide the bits that aren't so great and enhance the parts that are totally awesome. And that, I think, is really cool. And as you said to me before when we were practicing our posing, like, no one has a perfect body.
No. Oh my goodness, no.
Yeah. But none of us do. And if we look perfect, it's because we're standing in a perfect position to flatter our bodies.
Exactly right, because you're standing in a position that's going to enhance your strengths, not show off your weaknesses, I suppose. And that's the beauty of being able to stand in a position that is a little more flexible, I guess, than the figure or the physique categories.
Yes.
Where you can actually show a little bit more of yourself and your personality, I guess, and as well as your physique, of course, because that's important, and the way that you present. But being a little bit more flexible in those poses allows you to, show yourself off in a different way, I suppose.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny, it was actually quite humbling coming here, Lindy, because I teach heaps of girls posing for stage, and then I'm behind the camera, and angles are important, and they're so important for stage. And I can teach everyone how to get into a position whilst holding like a more muscular kind of pose, and then trying to do a more girly shot, and I'm really struggling. So I needed your help. And I thought, oh man, I teach this all the time. How come I can't do it? But it's hard.
It is. It's really hard. And, I think that's what people don't realise about the bikini style and the fitness model sides. And I know a lot of people say, oh, they're just bikini girls. They just get up and they, do their thing and whatever. But there is a little bit of work that goes into it behind the scenes.
There's a skill.
There is.
Very skillful.
Until you get in front of a camera on a photo shoot, it is really difficult to understand how the photo then interprets those images and how your body shape then comes across on a camera, on a photo, rather than like on a stage, for example. So we had a lot of fun. It was good fun.
Yeah, it was good. So I feel like I'm pretty good on stage with holding a flex muscle position and relaxing my face, but then when I'm trying to twist to get a good angle to make the waist look small, I can't relax my face. It's really hard. So you need to practice your coordination as well as your muscle control and your flexibility. It's all there.
It's all actually, I find it incredibly difficult as well.
Yeah.
But that's
the challenging part, and I think that's what's sort of attracting me to the other divisions as well. Yeah, just to try something different and always keep progressing, and everyone thinks you have to get more muscular to progress.
Yeah, because it is the other way around normally, isn't it? It's normally you get into the sport, you test the waters, you try a category that you think is going to suit you right then and there at the time. You usually don't have a lot of muscle unless you've been training for years. You usually are not too sure, where you sort of fit or how it's going to feel being on stage for the first time. So people sort of dip their toes in the water and they tend to choose a category that best suits them at the time, which is fine. Yep. But then they get more muscular, they, go to the gym more often, they work out more, they get addicted to training like we all do.
Yep.
And then, the progression is that you keep building, and your physique keeps growing. So it's really interesting for me to come from the other side of it and say, well, how do you actually go back? Like, do you not train? Like, what does that look like?
This is the thing. I actually have found it quite difficult, and maybe it's my body type, and I know that I've got clients that are really hard gainers and they find it very difficult to put on and hold muscle, and I'm the opposite. So for me to try and...
We hate you, by the way.
But the thing is, the body fat's still there. Like, that's the problem. So that you still have to diet, but I've been, like over the last couple of years, just cutting my protein intake down
slightly
and just having the bare minimum so that you can still promote recovery and things after training, because you can't just not eat protein.
No.
So you obviously need it, but the quantities of my foods and the percentages of fats, proteins, carbs that I was having have kind of changed.
So will they change gradually, or is it just like a hey bam straight into
I tried the let's just do the flip it on its head and just cut it all out, and I just got fat. Yeah, so you can't do it. Your body doesn't respond well to instant change. Well, it does, and then you're going to suffer for it later on.
The wrong way.
Yeah. So I did do that, and then it wasn't working. Like, obviously, I lost muscle, clearly, because I wasn't eating the protein, but at the same time, my body fat was actually creeping up as well. And it's this hard thing because you work so hard to get your muscle, and then to lose it, your metabolism has to kind of suss out what the hell's going on, because you put muscle on in the first place so that you can create this furnace, this fat burning furnace, and when you don't have that, well, then what do you do? So yeah, one of the main things that I focus on now with my diet is keeping the protein relatively low but high enough to maintain the lean muscle tissue that I've already have, but focusing on nutrient dense or nutrient rich foods, smaller portion sizes, and like I do that just with my salads. So making sure I always eat, and I have salad for breakfast, like that doesn't bother me. And lots of colour too. So I don't overeat with the carrots and the tomatoes, but I always put some sort of colour into my salads.
It's really important, you know, to get that cross section of nutrients because,
Yeah.
you know, if you can make sure, like you're doing, obviously that's why it's working for you, to make sure that you're getting those nutrient dense foods into a small package is kind of sometimes hard to do if you're only
Yeah.
choosing green things or, you know, which is so popular is people just use green stuff. It's like, it's a vegetable.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
so I know there's a lot of old school people out there, and that's brilliant because we, you know, all of us have learned so much. I've come from, you know, 15 years back, you know, doing just chicken and broccoli diets and things
I've done
like
that
that
before
myself.
as well, which
And
works for the short term,
100%.
and then
And it's like,
very
oh
hard
no,
to, yeah, very hard
on
to
the
keep
other
weight
side,
off of. Yeah,
100%. It's like,
absolutely.
whoa, okay, that was not so flash.
Yeah.
But you know, you don't know what you don't know. So that's why I wanted to really get to know, you know, what it is that you do and how you do it, because I think there's a lot of people out there that really want to know. You know, the ins and outs of what it is. They don't want to be eating chicken and broccoli if they have to be lean and be tight and be a bikini athlete.
Yeah.
You know, they shouldn't have to. And same for figure, same for bodybuilding. So that's why it's a really, really important concept, I think, to get across to people out there, especially in the bikini, figure, fitness model. You know, you don't have to starve yourself, do you? And you're living proof of that. So,
Yeah.
so what does training look like then? So we've looked at the nutrition side of things. What does like I was saying before, is training non-existent or?
When I stopped in 2014, I actually didn't train at all for 18 months, and I put that down to headspace as well. So I was in a lot of pain with my shoulder. There was a lot of inflammation. I wasn't really sure what it was at the time. I hadn't had it checked properly. I just thought it was one of those little injuries that would heal itself.
Like bicep tendons, right?
Yeah, I thought it was something like that. I didn't realise the extent of
Yeah.
the damage. So
Yeah.
with pain made training very uncomfortable and very unenjoyable.
Yeah.
So as much as I have health and fitness as part of my life with work and, you know, the
Play.
competitions, I was actually finding that I didn't want to be in the gym because it was so uncomfortable and painful.
Yeah.
And if I did like a light workout, I'd go home and not be able to sleep because of the aching and the pain. So, but I've been able to manage the inflammation without drugs.
Great.
Just focusing more on my nutrition.
Yeah.
In terms of like, you know, everything that you can read on inflammation, it was a matter of pulling a lot of carbs from my diet. When I'm saying carbs, I mean like rice,
Yeah,
breads, you know,
starches.
that sort of thing. So I still eat like potatoes, parsnips, like all those kind of vegetables.
sure.
And that's where I get my carbs from. And I've just increased all the salads. It's heaps of antioxidants and fats, seeds, nuts,
All the good
avocado,
stuff.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's funny because since I've finished competing, everyone always says, "Oh, your skin looks better." And I think it's because of the inflammation in your body just being stressed as well.
Absolutely. It all. They say that the skin is the amplifier of whatever is within.
Yeah.
You know, so if the skin is glowing and the eyes are clear, then you know that's a great indication of the health, so
Of
to
the
speak,
person.
of someone. So, it's amazing that you say that actually.
Yeah.
So from a training perspective, you haven't trained, like I'm assuming, it
Yeah,
was
so
18 months.
I've gotten back into it now, but just very, very steady.
So what do you mean by steady? Do you mean high reps, low rest, or do you mean you know, high intensity training? Like what does a training day look like now? Training for a bikini division rather than the other one.
Well, I've incorporated like more glute work, and I've never really done specific glute training. But then you get on Instagram, you see all the bikini girls doing glutes, and I'm like, shit, I have to do more glutes now.
Yeah, step it up.
Yeah, so I've actually been doing more glutes, and it's actually been making my back feel better and my shoulders feel better because the glute is the biggest muscle in the body. Good fat burning muscle too, so why not train it more intensely?
No one everyone likes that shelf at the moment. It's
Yeah.
like super cool to have this
Yeah.
soccer ball sitting on the back.
No.
It's like woohoo.
So, but when I train, my thing is tempo. So I do everything super slow, keep tension on the muscle. I try for full range of movement where possible. Some days are better than others with the pain.
Yeah.
So if I'm feeling good, it's full range.
Yeah.
If it's not so good, then I just shorten the range. But I actually still try and lift heavy. And again, day by day is different. And if you have a bad sleep, you're not as strong in the gym. If you're stressed out at work, you're not as strong in the gym. So you be safe about it.
Yeah.
But I still try and push heavy weight. And some days I do high reps, and some days I do low reps. I think it's all important. You've got different types of muscle fibers. Both need to be stimulated to keep the muscle healthy. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned, there's some days you have good days, some days you have bad days. I want to know what it's like to be inside the mind of a competitor and athlete who, you know, suddenly realizes that the category that they thought that they wanted to belong to is no longer what they want to belong to, and they want to head for something else. What does that feel like? I know you said you mentioned before that you felt, you know, a little bit down, and you felt a little bit, you know, out of your comfort zone in that particular category. So how do you then pick yourself back up and then head in a different direction? Like, you know, how do you deal with that mindset as an athlete when you want to be at the gym, push more, you know, do more, that whole I got to be better, build more, be bigger, be this, be that? How do you turn those voices off as an athlete? How do you refocus and head in that direction?
I didn't find it too difficult, but I think a lot of my driving force comes from people telling you can't do it. So like, I know it's very easy for people to say, oh, you can just get bigger, like that's easy enough. But for someone to say, let's go from muscly to like skinny, well, why can't I do it?
I love it.
Yeah, so that's kind of my motivation.
That's awesome. It's a great thing to be able to just be so black and white and just go, you know what? You said I can't, I'm going to prove you were wrong, and I'm going to go do this, and you watch me. You know, it's just such a black and white way of looking at it. You know, there's a lot of people, you know, would try and analyse it or try and, you know, give another reason or whatever that is, but it's a great way of looking at it. I'm sure that will drive you to where you need to go. So I can't wait to see the transformation. I mean, I can already see a transformation, obviously, but you know, to when you actually get up and you do compete in the bikini category, or if that is the category that you want to compete in, you know, how you go and how you feel, and then, you know, we might even be able to do a follow-up and just see how you went and how you felt, and, you know, was it all that you was cracked up to be, and, you know, where you think you're going to head after that. Because I love to see people through the industry and see, you know, how they progress and where they go and what they do, because, you know, I think I'm becoming a bit ancient now, which is okay. I've been around too long.
But that's good. I hope I'm around for a long time as well. Like, it's you know, this is it's a nice thing to be involved in, and there's always new people to meet. And
well, when it's something that you're passionate about, I think that I don't think you work a day in your life. If it's something that you're passionate about, you get up every day, you look forward to going to do what you do, and, you know, it's been that for me for the last 15 years. So I'm lucky as well, and I get to meet really cool people, and, you know, have some great chats, and, you know, find out really how the athlete nowadays feels about, you know, so many things, and it's such an eye-opener for me, especially. And then to see that same person get up on stage and actually do what they said and they set out to do, it's amazing.
I want to try something new, like I said. I also want to sort of set a little bit of an example. I know that there's a little bit of a stigma connected to bikini girls, that they're only, you know, a TNA show and all that sort of thing. I think that it doesn't have to be like that. It can be something else, whatever you make it. Same with the real muscly girls as well. So there's kind of stigmas in
on
the
both
different
sides.
divisions. But I want to do it my way, and hopefully that inspires girls to do the same thing and not feel pressured by, you know, what they think the category is, what they're told the category is. Just, it's about your fitness. It's about bringing the best that you can bring to stage, but if you don't do it your way, you're going to get slammed. So I was bringing the best that I could to the stage for figure, wasn't placing anymore because of my structure, but something better came along because of it, so which was the physique category. If you do what you want to do and bring what you want, it'll work out in the end, I think.
Awesome. I love the message. It's, you know, be who you are, be awesome at being you, because no one else can be that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it. Thank you so much for being with us, Amy. It's just been great. I've just had a ball today.
Cool.
And it's just, I can't wait to see you up there and do your thing.
Thank you.
I'll be
I missed the stage, so
in the wings going, woohoo!
Thanks.
So let us know when you're up there next. And
I want to give myself at least 12 months, so end of the year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
Thanks.
good. Thanks for coming. See you guys.